Here now, Senator Ben Sasse, author of the new book, The Vanishing American Adult, Our Coming-of-Age Crisis and How to Rebuild a Culture of Self-Reliance. Senator, good to have you here this evening. So first, just some of this news, and then some questions about your very interesting book that's getting a lot of attention. Are you concerned about this meeting and this report in the Washington Post?
So lots we don't know. I've been on the phone with my national security team, but I haven't been in a bunker. I haven't gotten a classified briefing in the SCIF. So lots to qualify about that I can't validate about this report. But I think three top-line things. One, sources and methods are the lifeblood of the intelligence community, and we need our spies. The world is broken, and there are a lot of Americans who serve in harm's way trying to protect us. Sources and methods need to be guarded. Number two, a lot of the media will probably hyperventilate really quickly and lose a distinction that we should always bear in mind between illegality and imprudence. Really difficult for a president to do something illegal in a space like this because he, as commander-in-chief of the military, is the ultimate declassifier. That's a different question than whether or not something's imprudent. And number three, really problematic that it's the Russians because they don't have our interests at heart and they can't be trusted.
Are you at all concerned, because these are unnamed sources in this piece, that some of this may be revealing the sort of inner battle that has been going on for some time between some members of the intelligence community and this White House?
Yeah, I do have concerns about that, but don't know enough to rank order among our different concerns. But there is too much leaking in the world. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. In terms of the Comey firing, you said over the weekend that you didn't like the timing of it. The president has raised a question, if he felt he had to go, what timing was ever going to be good? What do you say to that?
Yeah, well, first of all, the FBI director has a 10-year term for a reason, because whoever leads the Bureau, and the Bureau is a really special institution in American life, that person needs to be disconnected from the chain of command that leads back to political decision-making in a White House. Our founders gave us three branches, a legislature, an executive, and a judiciary. Yeah. Not 37 branches, not one. And so prosecutorial functions at DOJ and investigative functions at the FBI, those have to be in Article II. They have to be in the executive branch, but we want them far removed from politics.
But that's all in a perfect world. Some people believe that this director had become politicized.
There's lots of reasonable arguments to be made about ways that the FBI messed up in the 2016 cycle. I don't disagree with that. But at a time when we have such little public trust in our institutions, we need to be restoring that kind of public trust, not further eroding it. And the timing of this in the midst of an investigation is troubling.
Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, you're going to be in a meeting with him. What do you want to ask him?
So I'm the chairman of the Oversight Subcommittee of the Senate Judiciary Committee, so I've been in contact with the Deputy Attorney General since last week. He's going to testify before all senators in a classified setting on Thursday. I think we need to understand more about why he wrote the memo he wrote, when was he asked to write it, how did that come about, how did it connect to the larger decision-making process, and then obviously complicated stories about the White House that shifted quite a bit last week. I think we need the Deputy Attorney General, to whom the FBI reports, to explain why he took what steps he did when he took them.
Yeah, a lot of questions. I hope we'll talk to you more about that afterwards. But I want to bring up this book, The Vanishing American Adult. As someone who has three children who are on the verge of adulthood, I wonder if it's too late for my kids, who I think are great. But, you know, it's tough to raise kids to be resilient and independent in this world.
It is. We live at the richest time and in the richest place in the history of the world, and that's great in so many ways. But unfortunately, one of the downsides of that is our kids are really insulated from necessity and from developing a work ethic. And right now, too many of our kids are stranded in perpetual adolescence, and that's really more our fault than theirs. We're not helping them learn that we should celebrate scar tissue. It's the foundation of future character.
You know, the weird thing is, though, you almost have to, you know, allow them to get at it or let them fail. I mean, you know, I think about the World War II generation who had to grow up very quickly based on what was happening in the world, and we don't wish that on our children. We want them to live in a world that doesn't have that. However, I don't know how you create that sometimes.
Yeah, that's a huge part of what this book's about. It's two-thirds constructive. It's not blaming anybody. It's one-third situation setting, but recognizing that right now our kids are so insulated from work that parents have to do the hard work of figuring out how to plan to get them work. And our kids don't know a distinction between production and consumption like their grandparents did, and we have to do that work. And I think a lot of parents want to be having this conversation. We're hollowing out local community, and so much of our national conversations are so politicized. There are a lot of parents who say, I know my kids are a little too addicted to their digital devices, and I want to nudge them out of the nest and help them learn to work. How do I do that? And this book is trying to accelerate that conversation.
Yeah, the longer you can keep them away from the digital stuff, the better. The further you can push that off, middle school, high school, good luck to all of you at home. It's not that easy to do. Senator, best of luck with
Martha,
the book.
thank you.
Thank
Good
you
to be
very
with
much
you.
for being here with us tonight on this breaking news. Good to see you.